Okay. Just go back like that. Okay. Get it close as I can so the sound, good sound on it. All right. Good. All right, now tell me your name. Donald?
Donald L. Moon is my full name. I just go by Don Moon. Everybody knows me by that name.
All right. And you are on tape 45, I think. Yes, tape 45. Now keep that with your stuff, and 100 years from now, when your great-greats go down to the library, they can see and hear you.
Okay.
This tape will be kept on the shelf at the Portsmouth Public Library, and you are on tape number 45.
Okay.
All righty?
All right.
When were you born?
August 30th, 1920.
Okay. Okay, Don. And what's your middle name?
Lewis.
Lewis.
Lewis. It's not Louis.
Okay. And you told me when you were born, and where were you born?
Portsmouth, Ohio.
And your present address is 4603. Is that right? 4603
Woodland.
Portsmouth, Ohio.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're in your house right now at that address.
Right.
And where did you live, though, when you were in Portsmouth growing up?
I lived on Gilbert Avenue.
Gilbert
2805 Gilbert Avenue. That's the street right straight up from Roosevelt School.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
One of the first big brick homes there.
Really?
I lived in that, yeah.
Okay.
2805.
And
most of that was vacant. You know,
all right.
We played ball around there and everything.
Okay. What was your occupation then? When did you join the service? Did you go into service?
I joined.
Okay. And how old were you when you went in?
I don't know. About must have been about 20 or something.
20
like
something.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of work did you do?
After graduating from high school, I went to Columbus and started to serve an apprenticeship at. I can't think of the name of the company now. They went bankrupt. And then from there, I went over.
What did they do? What kind of
They
work?
built fire engines.
Oh, they built fire engines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a relative that was superintendent there, and he got me in as a machinist apprentice.
All right.
And that's what I was doing. Then the wages were, well, anyway, from there, while I was working there, I decided to go to Curtiss-Wright Aeronautical.
Okay.
There, because everybody was working there, and they were building airplanes, and you know, and the money was bigger and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Career move, then, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So, were you up there when Pearl Harbor happened, or what happened there?
Yes, I was up there when Pearl Harbor happened.
Okay. Do you remember that particular day about what happened? Where were you? What were you doing when you heard about Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, I was in a machine shop, and I think they announced it over the radio or loudspeaker, I believe.
What did you do? What did the rest of the people do too?
Run all kind of lathes and things like that.
Okay. After they heard about Pearl Harbor, though, what happened?
Oh, well, yeah, everybody, it was just a main conversation, you know.
Did people understand that this was a war now, that we were in it?
Right.
That sort of thing?
Right, yeah.
Okay. How much education do you have?
Well, I graduated from high school, Portsmouth High School, and...
what year did you graduate?
I graduated in half of 39, but the official thing wasn't until 40.
Okay. Graduated from high school, and
then after the service, I went to OU for a semester, and then I got married and had to quit, and I went on a GI Bill, and
right.
Then I went to Dayton and got a job at Frigidaire, and
did you have any more training after that? You went to OU for a semester and that sort of thing.
I'll tell you, I enrolled at the University of Dayton when I went to Dayton.
Okay.
But I never finished.
Okay. And now you're widowed, and
I am now. Yes.
Okay. When did your wife pass away?
March the 19th, I believe it was.
Okay.
In
last year.
Year and a half. Yeah.
Okay. Year and a half ago.
Yeah.
How long had you been married?
23 years.
23 years.
I was married before, if you want to hear that.
Yeah,
I was married for 35 years.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 children.
Let's get a timeline here, if we can, then. Tell me your father's name.
His name was Frank Kendrick Moon.
And your mother's name?
Edith Knost.
Edith Knost.
Yeah.
And, Miss Knost, was she the piano teacher's
No.
relative? Okay.
No, not mother.
Okay.
That's a different Knost.
Different?
We had the Knost grocery store.
Oh, you did?
L.W. Knost and Son. That was my.
Where was that?
That was my grandfather.
Where was that located?
That was down on Gallia Street. It was one of the biggest independents in
Really?
in the area then. And then when the supermarkets come in, they give up.
Is the building still there?
The building's still there.
Is
Yeah, it's right across from that fire station. It's a big building. The old fire station.
The old fire station is right there on Gallia and 8th.
Where it kind of goes like that. And then there's a big building there.
Big
right across from it.
Big white building there?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that what it was?
That was my grandfather's store.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, tell me your mother's parents' names then. Knost. What was your grandfather's name? L.W.
Yeah, Louis Knost. I was
Okay.
named after him. I was the first grandchild.
Okay. What was her mother's name? Your mother's name.
Wilmara Bouts,
Okay.
I think.
And
They were from out around South Webster now.
Bouts, that name is still out there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, all my relatives are buried out there.
Are they?
South Webster, yeah.
Okay. Now your father's parents' names. Grandfather.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. James Moon.
Okay.
And his wife died. My father's wife died when he was small.
Okay.
And they're buried over here in Green Lawn Cemetery. But they were from Otway, Ohio.
From Otway.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were farmers out there.
You told me early before we started that I've also interviewed your brother,
Yes.
Frank, and Frank Moon.
Right.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
Just one.
Just
brother.
you two?
Yeah, just
Okay.
two brothers.
Now, going forward, your first wife's name, what was her name?
Her name was Wandalyn Bingham.
And what are your children's names?
They're named,
How many children do you have? 3, you said?
yeah,
Okay.
Richard and
Richard.
Pamela and
Pamela.
Margaret.
And are they spread out now around, or are they...
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But Peggy is the director of the radio reading.
Is that right?
She's blind.
I see.
She graduated from OU.
She's doing well, though.
Yeah, she's okay.
Um,
And my other daughter is married to Douglas Fuller. I don't know if you know the Fullers.
I do.
They lived over on Timlin Hill.
Uh-huh.
She's married to him. Her name is Pamela Fuller. And they
Okay.
live in Manhattan.
They live in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they got a condo across the Hudson River.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They're doing well.
They're doing well. Yeah.
Pretty good. Now, did you say you joined?
I joined.
And when did you... Do you remember when you joined?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the story if you
Okay,
want
go
to hear
ahead.
it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, well, I was up here at Curtis Wright running a big turtle leg. And they were, every now and then you'd notice a woman would come in, you know, and they'd train her how to run. And a guy, back in these days, they didn't even have artificial limbs and things. The guy come in with a wooden leg, you know, like John Longshell or something.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Started running the machine down the way. So I got thinking about it, and I came home, and I talked to another friend of mine. His name was Earl Barney, and we decided to go enlist. So we went to the old post office down here, which is an old stone right where the
in Portsmouth,
where the Fifth Third Bank is.
Yeah. And
we went into Marines, and he didn't pass, and I passed for their preliminary examination. You know what I'm saying?
What was the matter with him? Flat feet?
No, he had a thing, something wrong with his breast.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't take him. I believe they called it, I don't know whether I would say things like this or not, chicken breast or something.
Okay.
It wasn't developed just right. So we went next door to the Navy, and they took us.
Took you both?
Yeah, they took us both. And we got, I don't know whether it was a day or so after that, we got on a Greyhound bus, and they sent us to Cincinnati and give us another physical, and 500 of us stood on Fountain Square and were sworn in.
Okay.
Yeah. And we marched to the Grand Central Station, which I think it's still the same
one. You mean a big Union station that's shaped like
we marched
a dome?
We marched there.
You did?
Yeah. 500 of us. And they loaded us up on trains to Chicago.
You went to Chicago?
Yeah, we rode all night.
What was it? Do you remember the date? You were on Fountain Square, and you got...
Oh, God.
Remember the...
I couldn't.
Was it 41 or 42?
It'd be 42.
It'd be 42.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it cold?
I can't remember. I don't know.
You went?
I think it was about like it is now.
Okay.
It might have been. All right, let's see. It was summertime.
Okay. So you march to, what do they call it? It's not, is it Union? It's Terminal.
Yeah, I forget.
And you get on the train and go to Chicago.
Right.
What was that train ride like? Do you remember? Had you ever been on a train before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a bunch of guys.
A bunch of guys on a train.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, are all these guys Navy? Or some of them Army, some of them?
All Navy.
All Navy. Okay. What happened after you got there?
Well, I remember we got off the train. They gave us our breakfast there, and took us to Great Lakes Naval Training Center. And I was only there 3 weeks.
At Great Lakes?
They just give us our shots. You had to take all these different shots to go overseas, and we just marched every day, and that was all the training we got.
Did your friend, was he still in by then?
He was in there too. Yeah.
Was he ever disqualified or anything? Or
no.
He went all the way through?
He went all the way through, yeah.
So you were there about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the only training you got...
I think we got home for a weekend or something, and that's all the training I got.
That was it, okay.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
Then I had to go report, after being home, I had to report back to Great Lakes. And I got on one of these troop trains, cattle car. You know, you've heard of that, probably heard of it. People talk about them.
Right.
Just bunksards and you know, when there's big windows open and steam train, smoke blowing in, and you know what I mean.
Right.
We went to, which it took 5 days or more. It took a long time to get there because sometimes they would put us on a siding and maybe sit there for a few hours or something, I guess, where there's other trains coming through. Right. But there was a diner on there, and they fed us and all that. And went to Oakland, California. One thing I remember, we went through a tunnel, which was called the Feather River Canyon Tunnel. I don't know if you've ever heard of it now. But anyway, with all those windows open and that smoke from that train, and I forget how many miles, it was a mile long, we were black.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know, and
the smoke had nowhere to go except
that's right.
come back
in those days.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we went to. I went to Oakland, California, and I guess they took me to some kind of receiving place, and we got cleaned up and all that. And in a few days, they loaded me on 50 of us on like a trip ship, and took me to the Panama Canal Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I boarded the USS Sampson.
Was the troop ship as bad as the train? I mean, it packed you
No,
off.
it was better.
It was a lot better. Huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but there was Army guys and all that on there too.
Mm-hmm.
But they were this 50, I guess, was sailors.
Okay.
We went to Balboa Canal Zone.
Did you get any training at Oakland, or were you there that long?
No, just there.
Just there to get the troop ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think we was in a barracks, and they fed us, and we cleaned up and all that, and,
mm-hmm.
you know, all that stuff. And
Okay.
I remember on this, I forget how long it took us to get to Panama,
Mm-hmm.
but I know they had just open showers and had saltwater showers, you know, saltwater soap. And
Did you have a crust of salt on
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
Right off?
yeah, and stuff like that. I can remember that much about it. And
well, that was right at the early part of the war. Did you have to observe any
I'd say
precautions?
that was in July or
In July?
Yeah.
Were they worried about Japanese submarines or anything like that?
Yeah.
They probably were.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you ended up in Balboa, Panama.
Canal Zone.
Canal Zone.
Yeah.
Canal Zone.
Panama City was adjoining that.
Okay.
Then
what happened?
50 of us guys went aboard the USS Sampson.
Oh.
DD 394. It was just it's a 1850 class destroyer. And by the way, while I was, can I go back and talk?
Sure.
While I was in, I enlisted because I was a machinist or doing that kind of work. As supposed to be an aviation machinist.
Uh-huh.
Was some kind of, I don't know, striker or something. But anyway, when I ended up on that ship, I was just apprentice seaman. You know, of course.
By the machinist, I think you were.
that was it, baby.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, you had quite a skill, though, and they didn't use you?
No.
Were you ever a machinist? Did you ever get to be machinist mate or anything?
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. As we go along. Yeah, let's go along with the story.
Okay. Okay.
Excellent. So the 50 of you get on the Sampson.
Right.
And then what?
I ended up on the deck force.
What is that?
The deck force is where you chip paint, swab decks, whatever there is to do. Handle lines, and you have a boatswain mate and just tells you what to do, you know. You just swab the decks or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know how long this was. I was on the deck force. But
did you head out to sea?
We were in there for a while.
Okay.
No, I can't tell you how long. I was the only guy out of them 50 guys that had a high school education.
Really?
Yeah. So the guy started talking to me. Said, hey, we need a yeoman. You want to be a yeoman? No, it was the yeoman, you work in the office. I said, man, I never took typing or nothing in high school. I don't know nothing about typing or none of that. By the way, too, I was pretty good on the deck force. You know, I was in the Boy Scouts. I was a Life Scout and all that too before, and I knew all these knots and all this stuff. And I kind of liked that. You know, we made what they call fenders out of rope that you hang over the side when the ships bump together. It doesn't work like that too. But anyway, this guy kept talking to us. You want to be a yeoman? Kept telling me how good it was to go up into being the officer. Finally, they talked me into it. They taught me to type. They taught me everything. And I got where I could handle it pretty good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we handed out the Liberty passes, and I typed up Captain's Mass, and it was on legal stuff, and you couldn't make a mistake, you know, no erasers or nothing. It was a legal document, you know.
What is Captain's Mass?
Well, somebody does something wrong, like it's like a judge, you know.
Okay. Like an indictment or something.
Yeah, it is an indictment, yeah.
Okay.
And whatever you might get in the brig, or restricting no liberty, or, you know, when the ship goes in, you don't get to go ashore, man, or something like that. Anyway, I done that for a long time. But while I was up there, I was looking this ship over. And I thought, man, I'd like to be a torpedoman. That was mechanical. Now, back in those days, they had steam torpedoes, and they were run, you know, it was all mechanics. And I kept talking. I would pass out Liberty passes whenever we go to port. I'll tell you about it. We patrolled the coast, about the submarine, patrolled the coast of South America for a short time. And they would be Liberty when we pull in places like Lima, Peru, or Valparaiso, Chile, or someplace like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always talk to a first-class torpedoman. I said, man, I want to be a torpedoman. I'd like to get in there. And anyway, that's all I did, was talk. And he said, well, I'll talk to the captain, or the executive officer. And you know, anyway, this went on, you know, a long time. And I got to remember how this happened. Anyway, one day, the ordnance officer come up and said, Moon, I want you, back in those days, we'd cut stencils to make, you know, they had an old, it was a mimeograph machine. You cut a stencil on a typewriter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And then you put it on there, you know, run it off, and make copies. He said, Moon, I want you to make me a stencil. I'm giving up examination for chief torpedoman's mate.
Hmm.
So I cut this stencil up, and there was a little place right under the bridge where we had this mimeograph machine, a little place. So, I don't know if I can tell you all this.
Go ahead.
It don't make any difference. Anyway, it don't matter anymore. It was dog eat dog, you know that.
I think I know what's coming.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I put this stencil on him. We got up there at night, and I whacked her off one time, and she came out blurred, and I threw her down the trash can. And he never caught it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up there that night, and I got that out of there. Or I don't know whether it was night, because I have watches, you know, different watches, and I had to stand it. And I give this to that first-class torpedo, and I said, now here's the test you're going to take. Well, you know what happened?
He owed you.
He got the chief petty officer, chief torpedoman's mate.
Mm-hmm.
And they had what they called torpedoman strikers. They were guys learning to be torpedomen. Mm-hmm. You know, we done everything. We fired K-guns and, you know, dropped depth charges off and all that stuff when he was on top of a submarine. But anyway, he got it. So one day he came up and said, hey, they're going to get another torpedoman striker. And I've talked to exec, and the executive officer talked to me and said, Moon, what in the world do you want? And I said, I want to be a torpedoman. So anyway, I got to be a torpedoman. So I was a striker working with all them other guys, and naturally we'd work on the torpedoes, and we was told what to do and everything. And I don't know how time went by, but first thing you know, they come up, the chief come up and told me, he said, hey, they're going up for third-class torpedoman. And so naturally he could give me all the stuff to study.
He helped you out?
Yeah, and so I got the torpedoing rate, so I was the boss then.
Okay, great.
Great. And I was working, I was over guys that was there before I was, you know.
All right.
Yeah, but I was a torpedoman. That's how I got to be a torpedoman.
Were you a torpedoman on the Samson then?
But this all happened on the Samson.
Okay, yeah.
It all happened there.
Mm-hmm.
This all happened at sea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we patrolled the coast of South America, and you know.
How about the west coast of like California? Did you get
No. Well, now I'm telling you, you want to hear. Then we got orders to go to the South Pacific.
Oh, I see.
And I was out there.
Let me
Guadalcanal and all these places. I can name all them places. It's all history in this book.
When you were patrolling the coast of South America,
Yeah.
sometimes you'd get liberty. You'd go into the port and you'd get
You
liberty.
better believe it.
And what would a young unmarried sailor do when he got liberty?
Do you want to hear this stuff?
Sure.
You blank some of this out?
No.
Oh, God. Anyway, state of Lima, Peru. The place was Callao, was where the port was, and Lima was in just a little bit, this little town. There would be all these guys there in cabs waiting on you to get off. You know, we get a few days there.
Mm-hmm.
I have beautiful senorita for you. I'm not going any farther. Okay.
Well, you don't have to. Well, did they live up to the advertising?
Well, sure. Well, I had one guy every time we stopped there. Why they look for me, and I'd take him to the bullfights. We'd go to bullfights, you know, and all that stuff.
You and
That's
the
when
driver?
they killed him, and the girl.
And the girl too.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You'd all go to the bullfights.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were waiting for you.
Yeah. This guy.
Is the Samson coming in yet?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Well, now everybody, all the guys that got off, you know, half the ship would go one time and half would go the other, you know. And you'd just be there for that day.
What kind of liquor did they have there? What did they drink?
Everything.
Rum, tequila?
Yeah, and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's see. If we go in a bar, my cab driver would sit out there. He'd stay in there for 8 hours. You know.
Really?
Yeah, and we'd eat steak in there and stuff like that.
How much would you pay him?
Okay. You got
To make it worth his while to wait.
we got. Trying to think. Seems to me you got 6 souls for $1. That was the money. Mm-hmm. And you can pay him 10 souls, and you had him all day.
The girl too, or was that more?
Yeah, girl too.
And that would take care of all of it.
Yeah.
But they'd get to go to a bullfight and get.
And
Okay.
well, they could steak and drink and dance and do it all, you know. And
That's in Lima. How about Chile? Where did you
Valparaiso? They had in Valparaiso one time there was an earthquake there. I remember, but what I remember of Valparaiso, Chile, I had a friend that was. We just went ashore together and everything, and so we decided to try to get a bottle of scotch aboard. And I taped it to my leg, and we got it aboard. It was a White Horse. I remember that.
White Horse scotch.
Yeah. And we'd keep it in the locker and just take it. You know, you couldn't drink much underway when it was real rough. It'd make you sick and everything. And we would maybe just take a little nip out of it and keep it.
Warm up a little bit.
Yeah, you know. And so happened they had a locker inspection, and it was in this guy's locker, and they caught him with it. And he got restricted on one of these captain's masses for I forget how long. You know, didn't get to go on liver or anything, but that was all that. His name was Rube Marquard. I remember him. But anyway, after that patrol duty up and down there, why I went to South Pacific.
And you were at Guadalcanal?
I was at Guadalcanal. I was
But
all
at the
over
fighting? You were at Guadalcanal at the fighting?
What we did, it's all in this book.
Mm-hmm.
What we did was escort aircraft carriers. See? In other words, you know, these destroyers, we were out around them, you know. And whatever happened, keeping submarines from getting them, you know, we pick up a submarine sonar and go over the top of it and drop depth charges.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember we caught one night on the surface, you know.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you hit it?
We just shot at it, and you know, and it submerged, and there was oil slicks and all that. I seen the Japs running, you know.
You saw them running the deck?
Yeah, to run to get down. Yeah. But anyway, that's what we did. Mm-hmm. We done that for a long time. I can name you all them islands out there.
Your battle station, what was as a torpedoman, right?
This is funny.
Okay.
I was, as a torpedoman, we stood watches on different guns and things, and I was standing watch on a 40 millimeter gun, which is right under the bridge. And they said, anybody want to qualify for a helmsman, come on up. That would steer the ship. So I went up, and I studied. Again, I'd go up there every time I was on that watch for an hour or so and learn how to steer the ship. And while I was up there, at my battle station, instead of being a torpedoman, I don't know whether it's that corny Southern Ohio voice or what, they made me the telephone talker. So I was the captain's telephone talker.
Huh.
You know, he'd say, all head full or something. Well, I'd repeat that and all that kind of stuff. And just give orders. And I also would steer the ship at times. I knew how to do that. I knew a right standard rudder 17.5 degrees, right full rudder 30 degrees, and just do what they say, you know. He'd say right standard rudder, go up or over to 17 degrees until he'd say steady as you go, and you'd have a gyro compass in front of you, and when he'd say steady as you go, that means you stop at that course, whatever course he's on that gyro. But anyway, that's beside the point. I was a telephone talker. And when we were in serious things going on, why, all them guys down in the engine room would say, hey, Moon, what's going on? What's going on? Tell me about that down there in the water line, you know.
Yeah, right.
But I also had other jobs. We'd fire them K, you know what I'm talking about, K guns. They have a depth charge on them, and
A K gun.
Well, they had depth charges, and they'd shoot them out, and we'd shoot a pattern. See, we'd go over top of a submarine, and you'd go all the way around them, you know, you'd be dropping them off the back, and you didn't know where you got it or not.
You can set the depth on
You
this?
set the depths and all of that,
okay.
Yeah.
And like
same way you can set the depth on a torpedo.
Okay.
And the course and all that, it was controlled by a gyro. You could shoot out this side and go around over that way. You know, it'd come to a course.
I always wondered about that, you know, the
Yeah.
depth charge. But they could set the depth 50 feet, 100 feet, 150
Yeah, well,
and
they
so
never
on.
set them that deep, yeah.
How deep would you set them usually?
Seems to me it's 8 or 10 feet. I can't
8 or
remember.
10 feet, really?
Something, yeah, I can't remember, but I think it was controlled by water pressure. You know.
Okay.
You want to hear some more?
Yeah, fire away. I like it.
You like it?
Sure.
Okay, torpedoman. Now, back in those days, they had a torpedo was run by, I guess you'd call it steam, had turbines. They were run by alcohol, water, and compressed air. That whole big tank in front was compressed air, 4,000 pounds of compressed air. See, although on the mechanical end, I knew all about the air compressors and that kind of stuff, you know, too. And anyway.
How big was your warhead then, Bob?
Oh, from here to that chair.
That was the warhead?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
How long was
it?
it?
21 feet long.
How long was a torpedo?
About 21 feet long back in those days.
Okay.
times have changed. They come out later with electric and all that stuff, nuclear and all
so
that.
you've got the warhead, and then behind that you've got
You got an air flask, which is all air, which is long as from here to that couch. Round, 21 inches, I believe, in the round. And then behind that was the engine. And it was just about that long, and it was turbines. It had a combustion pot, and we had, now I can't remember now, but I'd say 1,000 gallon of alcohol. We called it white mule. It was pure 180 grade alcohol. And that was a mixture going in this combustion pot, the alcohol and the water and the air, and it ignite, and that's where they get around the turbines to run that daggone thing, see? But to get back to this alcohol, I could trade a pint of that to a cook and get the best food on the ship. Because he'd cut that down with grapefruit juice, see? And that was better than any vodka you could ever buy or anything, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was a good... I knew all this when I wanted in the torpedo gang.
Yeah. That's why you wanted in.
Not really. No, not really. It was
Right.
No, I found all that out later. That was stuff that
Yeah.
you couldn't find out. You didn't know about that.
You had a lot of bargaining power then on ship, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, hey man, you didn't know when he was coming back. You didn't care.
Right.
You didn't care. You was just out for...
What would the cook make for you? A pint.
We'd trade stuff. Like ham and
really?
stuff like that, and all that kind of. And see, we had our own in our called the torpedo shack. We had our own little place where we had a little place to cook and all that, coffee pot and all that. So whatever we could get from it. Oh, we had to eat the regular mess too, but if they didn't have nothing you wanted, like
you go to your little efficiency
we had
department.
to get grapefruit juice and I can't remember everything. We'd get, if the captain was eating pretty good, well, maybe we'd get something pretty good,
Well, how many sailors on that ship?
280.
280.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast ship too. I mean, a destroyer.
31 knots, and man, you couldn't stand on deck.
You couldn't.
Yes, sir.
31 knots.
Yes, sir.
And you'd skim across the.
Yes, sir.
And
boy, you couldn't stand on deck. I'm telling you.
Did you ever crank it up to 31?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Were you the helmsman then? When they did 31?
I can't remember. I doubt it.
I
doubt it.
Go like that.
I doubt. Well, see, you was always on a zigzag course.
Okay, right.
Always on a zigzag course. So they couldn't plot you in, the subs.
Right.
Now you're getting into a lot of stuff I can't remember.
Technical
but we were on a zigzag course. The captain wouldn't, or the officer of the deck would know.
Did you have a good captain?
Well, they had the three of them while I was on there.
Okay. How'd they measure up?
They were all right. We had one, the last one before I left that ship was, he was gun-ho. I know one time we were supposed to go in for supplies and we ate rice for a long time. He got a report or something someplace and we went out chasing it.
All right.
And
did you catch it, whatever it was?
I can't remember.
You went to Guadalcanal, and then where did you go? Where did you go
I
then?
stayed on this ship. See, we was out there 31 months.
Out in the South Pacific?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the ship was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, I can't get all this straight. Anyway,
what campaigns were you in out there? Were you at Midway? Coral Sea?
No. No. I was at Guadalcanal, and I can't name it. I'll tell you a campaign, the main one. Mm-hmm. This was after we left the Solomon. And by the way, I got a 10-day leave in Sydney, Australia.
You did?
They took us for R&R down there after we was up there in the battle zone for a long time.
Did that compare with Lima, Peru?
Well, no. You had nice girlfriends.
Oh, you had the nice ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what campaign was that in that you got your leave from?
Let's still out there and around Guadalcanal, until Alguien, Espiritu, Santos, and some of them islands out in there, escorting these aircraft carriers, you know. And that, wherever them planes would go, I don't know. They go long someplace, you know, or, you know. But we just escort them. Anyway, I got this leave. You know, met Australian families, and they wrote to my wife, and one girl did, and all that stuff, and we just had a good time, you know. And I think this was over, and then we got, we went to New Guinea, and this was the most serious thing I was ever in. I can't name all of them. We were in New Guinea until they made up a big invasion. We were going to invade, you probably nobody around in the war ever heard of, an island called Biak.
Biak.
Anyway, that's where we went. We had Australian generals, all kind of people on the bridge, you know, and
were you on the bridge with them?
I was a telephone talker.
Exactly. Well, I asked you. I figured you'd be right up there talking.
I was, but they were the captain, and they were all kind of high Army, or I don't know where it was, Army, Navy, and I believe there's Australian people on it. And we're invading this island. And what happens was the battle wagons would be way back. Then it'd be the cruisers. And then it'd be the destroyers. And everybody had a area marked out to bomb that beach. In other words, wipe everything out. You know. And then whenever it was wiped out, well, then these LSTs would go in and they'd land. See? Well, while this was going on, some of these Zeros come in.
Japanese.
Yeah, scraping. It's in this thing here. Scraping those, you know, LSTs, and one of them got hit.
Zero or an LST?
A Zero.
Okay.
And got on fire. And he come right at our ship. And there were guys on that 40 millimeter I was talking about, they were pounding away, and they got him. But I seen that guy's white over his eyes.
You did?
Yes, sir. Almost. I'd say he was from here over across the street. And they cut his wing on, and he just went right down in like that. But I'm going to tell you, here's all these guys on the bridge, me and everybody else, you know.
Yeah.
You know what we did? We laid down. There wasn't no place to go.
Laid down.
We just laid down on that cold deck.
All right.
But he went. That was the most serious thing.
That's close call.
That's the most serious thing I've ever.
That was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guys on that 40 millimeter saved the day.
And they got a big commendation and all that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And them was the days when you pointer and trainer. You know what I'm talking about? A pointer. You know, you just crank it to raise it up, and the other guys are cranking it to move it this way. It's all manual, you know.
Okay. Was it a 3-man gun, though? You had to have somebody pull the trigger, didn't you, or what?
They was loaders loading them things in. I was getting into something. I can't remember now.
Oh, goodness. The name of that island was Biak? Biak. And did they get ashore? Did they take the island okay? Biak?
As far as I know.
Yep.
After that invasion, we left to come back to the States.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And I went down around the Horn in South America and come up.
Did you?
Yes, sir. We went around the Horn. Did
you cross the equator?
I got a big thing down there where it says I was searching for Japs, a big certificate down in the basement. You know, it's framed.
Well, the first time...
That was when I first went over.
Okay.
And now listen, that was something to cross the equator.
It was a big deal, wasn't it? For sailors.
Kill you.
What do you mean?
Oh, man, that was terrible.
What?
What they do to you.
What do they do to you?
Well, they naturally, none of that stuff is going now. You know that. They prepare for days, to get ready.
Crossing the equator was like a big hazing.
It was the biggest hazing I've ever been in. I've been to the Masons and all of them,
All right. All right, you're a brother of this degree too then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you the worst thing. Of course, we was all naked,
Mm-hmm.
and they just done everything to you, from shock you and all this stuff, But the worst thing was they had this royal chow, King Neptune. He was there with a big crown and had a big old wooden spoon, and that was the nastiest stuff I've ever tasted in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And they, big bruisers, pry your mouth open and put that spoon in your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and close your mouth and hold it closed and say, swallow, 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 and stroke your throat and make you swallow it. Then, they had an oyster dropped in castor oil on a string, and put that in your mouth. You had to take and they put it down there and they jerk it up and get you puking real good.
An oyster with castor oil with a string on it. They'd make you swallow it and they'd pull it out.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's the truth. I couldn't dream this stuff up. Hey.
Okay.
You get puking. But anyway.
I bet you would.
Huh?
Yeah, I bet you would.
With that chow they fed you.
Uh-huh.
See?
And that all.
They had it all worked out.
All
They'd been doing it for years.
Right. For decades. Yeah. For 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then.
But that was way before I went to. That was way before. That was when
that was going over to the South
Yeah,
Pacific.
yeah.
So you.
But I went around the Horn and come up to New York.
What was that like going around the Horn? Was it stormy?
Yeah, it was bad. And let's see, when the sun shined at midnight, if I remember
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, it seems to me. Seems to me it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rough and bad, and I think I went to New York and got a 10-day leave, and I went back on the ship, and we went to North Africa.
North Africa.
Yeah, Bizerti. Yeah. I was on a few convoys over there with these Liberty ships, and go over through the Med, through Gibraltar, and go to Bizerti. And of course, I had Liberty, and while we was there, Tunis and Tunis and different places.
How did that compare with your other
now,
Liberty?
see, I was a rated man then, I had to. And most of the time I had what they call sword patrol. You had a sidearm and everything. And
you had to enforce the law.
Yeah. Back in those days, if you had most ordnance, there were just certain rates that they called right arm rates and left arm rates. Right arm was like torpedomen and gunner's mates and fire controlmen and things like that. And the others were radio men, radar girls, and all that kind of stuff. Yeomen and all that. Well, the right arm rate was over the left other rates, and we usually had to right where that 45 to go. But it was rough over there. You'd see them Arabs walking down the street. You know what a mattress cover is, and covered up.
That's what they wore.
Some sailors, you get $10 out one hand, back in those days. And you see some sailor going down the street with some Navy guys. Name stencils on the back of it where he bought it off of him.
Oh, really?
And we could get...
So a mattress cover, let me get this straight. The mattress cover is from the ship.
That covered, you had this little mattress that you slept on, and then there was a white sheet.
And you
just like a nightgown you pull down over.
And you could sell those to the Arabs.
Yeah.
For how much?
$10.
$10.
Yeah.
And then
their money, and then you had to get it out.
Okay, get it exchanged.
If you could get it.
So you'd see these Arabs walking down the street with
say Don Moon, U.S. Navy or something. But anyway, the main thing was selling cigarettes. You could get them for... We were allowed one carton a day, and you got a carton for 50 cents.
A carton? A whole carton?
Yeah. They were 4 or 5 cents a pack. And you were allowed going over, and then you'd sell them to the guys that fuel you up. You'd go pull a alongside a fueling barge. You always fuel up as soon as you go in, to make sure you're ready to go. And you could sell a carton in for $10.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could make
You
some
can
money.
sell, I didn't do it, don't get me wrong, you can sell American money. They buy American money. They want American money bad. But I'd make money doing that. And I think you could only, if I remember right, you could only send $100 home on a money order. I can't remember. But I would send money home. When I come home, I had money in the bank.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I had money on the books. Your money built up on the books, and you just, if you're going on liberty, you just take so much of it. They always have a payday before you go ashore, and they take so much of it.
Now, being on a shore patrol like you were, what did you do? Have to break up fights and things like that?
Try to, yeah.
Try to break them up. What I mean by
get
that.
away from them if you could. Never see it.
Right. You can't break it up if you don't see it.
No. Yeah.
What were the bars like in North Africa, there in Tunis? Did they have bars and regular?
No, I don't remember any bars.
Okay.
I don't remember. I can't remember that.
Now, so you're in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, back and forth to New York and Boston, different places.
Was New York a fun place to take liberty in that day?
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
You had all kind of women. Yeah.
Well, they were man-starved, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. I used to know all them places. From the Latin Quarter on down we go. We had money to take in girls.
Really?
You know.
Uh-huh.
And let's see.
You ever been back to New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not very long ago.
Really?
Yeah. I was over at Ground Zero not very long ago with my daughter now,
Yeah, your daughter lives in Manhattan, or has that?
Right now they're across the river at Madison, Wisconsin, but they live right down in 42nd.
Madison, Wisconsin.
40th, Madison, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
40th and 2nd Avenue. You could walk to Times Square.
Yeah.
They lived in a big
My wife
gate. You couldn't even get in there. Let's say knew you. The doorman knew you.
My wife and I are going up after Christmas. We have a reservation and everything.
Yeah.
We went to New York
Now
2
she
years
knows
ago.
Pam real well.
Oh, does she?
Sure.
Okay. Wow. My wife knows Pam.
Well, sure.
I bet she does. I'll mention that. Okay.
Her name's Pam Moon.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And my daughter, this is her second marriage. She was married to James E. Sutton. They together owned Dickerson's Funeral Home down in Banksburg.
Oh, yeah. Dickerson. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they got divorced. Jerry's running around. She got divorced, and him and Pam and Doug Fuller got married.
I bet that's a great place to live.
Where?
New York.
God, them cab drivers. Man. They'll take you.
They'll take you, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the Mediterranean. Did you ever drop your depth charges on German?
Hopefully.
As far as you know.
Yeah. So I've seen Liberty ships. See, them submarines, we'd have all these destroyers around this convoy of these Liberty ships, taking supplies over, And they've got inside, they try to get inside of our convoy. And I've seen Liberty ships get hit by it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, just see it, off with field glasses, with the torpedoes.
Do they go down pretty quick?
I can't remember. I think so. I can't remember.
Did you, after that convoy duty, what happened then? Where did you go? You remember
they sent me, you ain't going to believe this, but they sent me to, I think I got a leave. They sent me back to California, to Shoemaker, California. That was a big place for new construction, to go back out into the South Pacific.
New construction?
Well, that'd be a new ship.
A brand new ship?
Brand new ship. See, they were building big news destroyers, and what I was on was a little thing.
You're off the Samson then now, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you get
yeah,
okay, you're off.
I had orders. I had other orders. I had other orders to go to Shoemaker, and and I was supposed to go back out in South Pacific. Well, then they evaluated you, and they interviewed me and everything. Interviewed me and all, and looked on the records and all that stuff. And they said, well, you ain't going out, so they sent me shore duty in Key West, Florida.
Key West, Florida.
Yeah.
That was hard duty, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I wasn't there very long. The war was over.
Oh, the war ended then. Okay. Let's see what you got there. Is that the ship?
Yeah.
Voyages of the Samson. Okay. Oh, okay. Where's the bridge?
Right there.
And there you were the talker on the bridge.
Yep.
Okay.
At my battle station.
At your battle
But
station.
other times I had to work on torpedoes and do other chores, you know.
What kind of gun is that? Is that
That's
the K
a
gun?
5-inch.
Where's the K gun? Oh, the K gun is...
They're all along the side here.
Yeah.
You couldn't see them. They're just little things.
Is that what shoots the depth charge?
Yeah, it's just like a barrel, and it's just a little thing that sits, and it's got an explosive.
The depth charge
up there, you couldn't even find it on there.
Single stack.
Yeah.
Okay. And all along the side here would be the K guns. Yeah. Do you have other guns on there?
Well, there's another 5-inch mount right there.
Oh, there's a pod.
That'd be them's torpedoes.
Mm-hmm.
There's torpedoes there. See them things that turn out and shoot them off the
side. I see. Yeah.
And lifeboats and all that stuff. You know.
Interesting.
It ain't very big. You look at that picture.
It's not big at all. It's sleek, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it could cut through the water, couldn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, you can do whatever you want to do with that. But I mean, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, right. You want to keep
it. But it tells when. But I can tell you, they sent me back to Key West.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you this story.
Okay.
For shore duty, and it was good, you know, just down there. And the war ended, but when I walked in down there, you stayed in a barracks, and there was a master arms in the barracks that run it. And master arms of barracks was one of them torpedoman strikers that I was over years ago in the ship.
Uh-oh.
And he was a master of arms.
He was.
He said, hang your rates on the walls, boys. And I stand the midnight watch about every night.
Were you tough on him or something, and he remembered?
No, but he was pissed because I got the job.
Okay, and he's taking it out on... Okay. Oh, man. Well, let's see here.
Now, most of that stuff you wouldn't want to...
Well, no, but here you are. Here we go into, let's see, Orion to Canal. Did you ever go to Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, the interesting part, I think I pulled it back.
Let's go back here a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. It might tell about, I don't know. Let's see. What does that say?
Well, this would be, let's see here, February 1942, Mort at Balboa.
Yeah. See, that might have been when I went on. You get what I'm saying? That might be when I went on.
Did you ever go to the Galapagos Islands?
Yeah. In fact, they sent me one time when I was on that duty down there, I had an infected tooth, and they pulled in. I can't remember whether it was Lima, Peru, or what, but that was one of the main places we stopped. And they sent me to a dentist over there, and he pulled my teeth.
I was just wondering when you started to head for the Mort at Balboa, through the canal to Coco Solo.
Yeah, we would get depermed ever so often. See, I've been through the canal a number of times.
What's that like going through the canal?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I haven't been there recently.
Haven't been there recently?
No.
Oh, here it is. In May 1943, that's when you take off for the South Seas.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to Great Roads, Noumea, New Caledonia.
Yeah.
Bora Bora.
Yeah, I've been to all them islands. Samoa. Hit all them islands. stayed all night while in the hotel for a quarter a night.
Really?
Yeah. You had to pay for your sheets.
Oh.
Torpedoes, submarine sailors got to do
Fiji
that.
Islands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds exotic. Really
I can't remember all that
Sounds
stuff.
great.
Can't remember all that stuff. I don't know. What's that say?
This says island escorted it to Espiritu Santo. So,
Espiritu Santos. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that place.
Stranded on the Cook Reef. There was the SS Titan was standing on the Cook Reef, and you got the crew from that merchant ship.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway.
Okay. Interesting. And let's see, the commander of the 41st United States Army Division was on board.
Well, that might have been when we went to Biak.
Must be getting close to Biak here. Yeah.
Well, New Guinea was right around the island around New Guinea. New Hollandia, not
This is Biak. This is Biak, yeah.
Yeah.
And this talks about 3 and 2-0 fighter twin-engine enemy planes come in, taken under fire.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The pilot of the fourth plane was trailing smoke, was attempting to crash into the Samson when anti-aircraft fire knocked off part of its wing.
Yeah.
Hit the water.
Yeah.
And, no kidding. You know what?
That's the closest to death I was.
It was close to you.
Yeah.
This raider passed over Samson's bridge, but hit the water.
Yeah, just like I told you.
Then catapulted into a subchaser.
Yeah, I remember that now. I forgot that part.
The subchaser was engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
Boy, that was bad.
Yeah.
That's a close call.
Yeah.
And, let's see, there you're in Boston.
Yeah. See, I wasn't on there then. But that's the whole record of the ship.
You've got 2 battle stars?
Yeah. And I don't even have any of my medals or anything.
I was going to ask you about that.
I don't even know where they are.
Yeah.
Is that still on?
We're still on, yeah.
I can't talk yet.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you sometime.
Come on, put her on here.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll get rid of it a little bit then. Something I wanted to ask you then. Did you ever see anybody famous?
Famous?
Mm-hmm. Ever see any famous admirals? Fletcher or...
Heck, let's see.
How about movie stars? USO things.
I think I heard that Eleanor Roosevelt was on one of them islands out there one time. Heard about it.
I heard that she was over there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never seen anybody. No.
Well, who was on the bridge there during the...
Now, there were some famous big shots, but I don't know who they were now.
Okay. You still got your uniform?
I got a set of tailor-mades downstairs. I still got my sea bag.
You do?
Yeah.
What's in it?
Just that. I had a brother-in-law who was in the Navy years ago, and he taught me out all my regulation stuff.
Did he?
For inspections. But this is a set of tailor-mades I had made in, I don't know, Sand Street in Brooklyn or someplace. Well, I got them down there.
Okay.
I'll bring them up.
Okay. What medals did you get?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have them anymore. You don't want to tell me that story?
Pacific.
Asian. Well, you would get the European theater, too.
Yeah. And, I got a good conduct. I remember that.
No, you're lying to me.
And, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how they got away from me. My brother-in-law might have talked me out of them because he was entitled to them too. You know, and he was still in.
Do you have any tattoos you want to talk about?
Nope.
You're a sailor and you didn't.
I've been with a lot of guys, and I'd never do that. You have tattoo. You're supposed to have a tattoo. Let's see, what was it? A pig and a rooster, one on one foot. And one.
Why?
You wouldn't drown. That was an old sailor.
If you had a pig on one foot and a rooster
Yeah.
on the other, you wouldn't drown.
Yeah. I believe they had it on their feet. Hey, this is old. Hey, this has been 60, 70 years ago, man. I can't remember all that.
When did you get out? When were you discharged?
I don't know the date after the war.
Soon, or did you stay in a little while?
I was in a long time, pretty long, because I never had any points. I wasn't married.
Okay.
And we got a half a point for every month, I believe, you go overseas or something like that, and whatever it was. They sent me to Chicago, and I got discharged there, I remember.
Mm-hmm. What was your rank when you were discharged?
I was a torpedoman, 3rd class. Yeah.
Discharged in Chicago.
Yeah. And I can't remember it must have been 1945, about...
War ended in August, so...
Yeah. It was after that.
Yeah. Got the train home? Hitchhiking?
No. I think I rode a train to Columbus, I believe, and rode a bus from Columbus.
Okay. You get off at the old depot down here at the bus depot?
Now, when I was home on that leave, after my that short boot training I had, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
I left from there by train. I must have went back to Chicago, and I remember my mom and dad standing there on the wharf down at that old station, standing there crying. I
Really?
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Now, did Frank, now your brother?
Yeah.
He was in the
8th Air Force.
Air Corps, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was only in 18 months.
Yeah, that's what he said. I think he was.
He was married, and he made 37 missions over Germany, and then he got the points to get out.
Yeah.
And he got out.
Right. And then, of course, you and he could trade a lot of stories, couldn't you? Or son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Don, is there anything else you'd want to tell me? I mean, let me ask you this now. You've been back to New York, and were there any places there that you could remember where you went on shore leave to, that you went to?
No. I don't know, because we
didn't go for that reason, did you?
No.
You ever been back?
I can remember Leon and Eddie's and those when I was in the service. In the Latin Quarter, I remember it cost a lot of money for and stuff like that, but we didn't care. And
No.
I think I've seen some famous people, but I can't remember.
Have you ever been back to the Canal Zone?
No.
Ever been to the South Seas?
No. Everybody, when we were out there dreaming, boy, like at Bora Bora or someplace, or Pango Pango, man, I'm getting me a sailboat and
coming back.
Beautiful.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the natives like?
They were nice.
Any contact with them, or were
No.
you allowed to?
No, I never. I remember when we pull in them places like Bora Bora or someplace like that, why they'd all come out with their little outriggers and we'd buy bananas off of them.
Buy things
And
trade.
Get little necklaces and beads and things that they made. I gave them to my mother and stuff when it come home. I don't remember what happened to them.
Okay. Was there anything else you'd like to say? Or are you a member of any veterans organizations or anything?
Yeah, I'm a member of the American Legion. Of course, I could be a member of VFW and all that, but I just belong to too many other lodges.
Do you?
Yeah, I belong to the Elks, and I play golf 3 days a week.
You do?
Yeah. Out at the country club. I'm in a regular foursome.
Okay.
And
did you keep in contact with any of your buddies on Sampson? Did you?
It's been about 3 years ago. They have a reunion.
The Sampson does?
They did. But my Barbara and I, my wife and I went there in San Diego at a reunion. We had a real time.
Did you have a good time?
There were 27 of us that
Is
still
that right?
alive.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a great time. We stayed in San Diego. And
remember those guys?
they'd all changed. And I can't remember. And the captain was there.
Really?
Yeah, the last captain. He was 80-some years old.
Is that right?
He plays the organ.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me a tape. He played and dedicated songs to me and Barb. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'd
nice.
listen to it every now and then. It starts out playing Anchors Away, and I might listen to it in the car sometime every now and then when I'm traveling, you know.
Yeah.
But we had a great time out there.
Oh, that's good.
But I also visited my brother. He lives in Apple Valley out there. Played golf out there and stuff. Yeah.
He told you that I interviewed him then. He must have told you about that.
He told me about it.
Is that right?
He said, he come out here in this place. Hey, it's a dump.
Yeah, it was a dump.
Yeah, well, he knows that.
Is the dump
Hey,
still there?
Don't get me wrong, he's wealthy. Yeah, yeah, it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah, he owns it. He said, every time he said, I might come home this October and sell that place. But they just bought it, and I don't know. He was home here one time, and he bought it. And
Something to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
well...
he's come there, and just had a place here. I don't know.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. We've been at it about an hour.
Well, okay. There might be a lot of stories, but I can't think of them.
And you don't want to tell me some of them. You don't want to tell me some of them, do you?
I will have to shut that down. I got to find out how you feel.
Okay. All right. I'm going to shut it off then. And before I shut it off, always shake hands with the man and say thanks for everything you did.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I've done anything. The way it sounded to you was having a good time, but
you had a real good...
Hey, there was bad times.
Okay.
You know that. Hey,
I'm
bad
sure.
food and all that, you know.
And you got shot at a couple of times.
Yeah.
That's not good. As we go along here. Let me see.
Well, you don't want to see this.
That's your uniform. Now, there's your trousers, right?
Yeah, they're wrong side out.
Wrong side out, but let's see your...
Huh?
Let's see your jacket.
Okay.
Let's see here. Trying to go over the back like that.
We're getting out of fold days.
You better not. What would this mean? This piping here, this... What's that mean?
Apprentice seaman.
Is that what it
Seaman
is?
First.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, seaman second class and seaman first class.
Okay.
See, when you first go aboard ship, all you have on is that first stripe on there.
Okay.
But when you're apprentice seaman,
Okay.
then you make second class. I never really got into all that.
Okay.
And then I'm an officer, petty officer there.
And that's a torpedo right there.
Yeah. I don't even think they have that now. I don't know.
Yeah. Then what does this mean?
They give me that when I got discharged.
Everybody got one of those?
Yeah. And they sewed it on or something.
You served during...
I don't remember how it
Ruptured
got on
duck?
there. Yeah, I don't remember how it got on there.
Can you get into that?
Oh, my God, no. No, I couldn't get in that.
And this is this is the original...
That is original sea bag.
The original?
Everything was in there. Everything I owned.
Your life was in there. Your whole estate.
Yeah, I don't know if it still got my name on it.
Looking for your name.
Oh, it's faded out, hasn't it?
No, right there it is.
Yeah.
It's faded some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's... Well, that's too... You know, I don't think you'd want to put that. But anyway.
Now hold this up there like that. Hold it like that. Tell us what that is. Make sure I got that.
Let's see if I got a... What's it called? Well, it's a certificate of...
That's what you got when you cross the equator, wasn't it?
Certificate for crossing the equator. And it has the date and everything on it.
Yeah. And that's when you got tortured with...
I never told you all of it, but that was the worst.
That was the worst?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had you sweeping the horizon and...
Sweeping the horizon?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Doing that and take a broom and have you in the I'm not going to tell you. Have it in the head counting the goldfish.
I don't know what that is.
I can't tell you.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to shut us off now. We got that story.